Your act has been described as obscene and disgusting. What do you say to that?
Very accurate.
There is only one band that is the world's nastiest, most disgusting, #1 most popular band, in fact, only band from Antarctica.
The name of the band was GWAR, but it just wouldn't fit on a t-shirt.
They have a gimmick, a look, a story, humor.
How do you use the bathroom?
I never go to the bathroom. I let the bathroom come to me.
Edginess.
Everybody gets earthquakes. Get over it, Haiti. Get over it.
Violence.
The portrayal of you ripping a fetus out of a pregnant woman.
Yay!
The best live shows of all time. Make sure to bring a white t-shirt to be ruined. And above all else, the Scumdogs of the universe are pretty good musicians and amazing songwriters. GWAR were a bunch of aliens that came down several years ago that are pretty much the reason us humans were made when they mated with apes, got frozen in the Arctic, awakened during the 1980s during the hair metal revolution.
All those spooky hair bands with the gosh darn hairspray. They put a hole in my roof. The ozone, that is, in Antarctica. They are irresponsible. They must be destroyed. You dare to address me without groveling on your hands and knees and ritually disemboweling yourself first? Down, human! Kill yourself!
Now, the initial lineup of GWAR was kind of all over the place. They had to kill and recruit people constantly. In fact, on the first album here, they actually had Nipplus Erectus on drums, instead of skin-bashing resident sex past Jizmak da Gusha. You, of course, had the chonky Beefcake the Mighty on bass, Flattus Maximus on guitar, and Balsac the Jaws of Death actually joined in late to the party while they were making this. However, the inception point of this band and main leader and main reason we love GWAR is, of course, Oderus Urungus. He is by far the funniest member of the band. He was always on something.
Your father was a supercomputer and your mother was a petri dish.
Yes, and I wasn't very close with either one of them.
And honestly, the dude is a super underrated vocalist and really gets to shine off on the metal and punk directions they take. And speaking of punk, it's way more Misfits than Megadeth with songs like Americanized, War Toy, and the best song on here, Time for Death, which has borderline thrash metal moments. Although the middle of this album could be kind of fillery, there's still a lot of good songwriting here and funny ass moments. Of course, the funniest being the song about Oderus's dead dog that he was in love with, a dog named Pookie.
Pookie, look out, don't get too close to the road, Pookie. Oh, Pookie, don't let me pick you up and throw you into the road. Oh, Pookie. Oh, my God. Pookie, look out.
Now, towards the end of this album, they actually introduced the band's main villain, Techno Destructo, who, while hunting down GWAR and the Scumdogs of the universe, turned into a cyborg, and this is his song.
Because I am Techno Destructo, and I come from beyond Jupiter, beyond Venus, and that's way past Uranus, buddy. And I come from there.
But don't be one of those idiots that ignore Hello. It's a pretty damn solid album, and they honestly would carry all these punk elements from Hello throughout the entire career of the band, and the funny parts too. So the comedy and music all throughout their career. So to sit there and act like Scumdogs is the real first album is stupid.
Where do you expect to go like a year from now?
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to, catch a world maggot ride back to the center of the universe.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
We can't ever make this movie, but we've got to use some part of this whole thing, and we're like Scumdogs of the Universe. We'll just use the title. We'll never make the damn movie, but let's just use the title. And we use the title, Scumdogs of the Universe, for our first truly awesome album. Yeah. I'll love Hello forever for the punk rock conglomeration of weirdness that it was. But Scumdogs of the Universe with the track Horror of Yig and classics like Maggots and Sick of You. That was the album that will always be the hallmark, I believe, of our careers.
Now, despite what I said about Hello, the creativity, comedy, and strength of music really starts on Scumdogs. It is the beginning of the golden years of the band. With songs like Years Without Light and the song that really did change things musically for the band, The Horror of Yig, and the fact that they signed on with Metal Blade Records would forge their path as a crossover thrash band with some heavy-ass metal guitar riffs. What makes GWAR awesome musically is the fact that even if they are going a certain direction, they mix things up so much in so many different random styles of things that they like. And you can see that the band actually liked a lot of early rap music, very much influencing the song Slymenstra, taking a playbook out of NWA and literally just ripping ideas off from NWA. But there's so many funny lines in the song, like, "This is your ass, I'm in it."
A pervert, a junkie, and a womanizer. But you can call me the son of a
No matter what this band did, they were strong at it. Like, they tried to do a commercial metal song on here, Sick of You, with the dumbest lyrics imaginable, but still it somehow works as a complete iconic song, the band's most famous. But you also have songs on here like Slaughterama, introducing the band's manager, Sleezy P Martini, the one that woke them up in the Arctic, gave them all crack.
Buy a GWAR album or a GWAR t-shirt and you will get laid.
And this song is Sleezy P Martini executing several different groups of fan bases that he absolutely hates, skinheads to hippies.
Not your imagination, it's not a bad trippy. Yes, that's him. It's the big smelly hippie. Oh, Mr. Hippie.
And speaking of executions, to this day the band is very well known for doing edgy executions of every president or every famous person you can imagine. And of course they have this executioner do that, and they give an entire song to him. Even though some of the early non-Metal Blade versions of this album are missing like several integral tracks, even that version and every version of this album is a stone cold classic.
Where's the girl?
She's upstairs, follow me! But then she says, and I'm like...
Why do you say America must be destroyed, you stupid idiot?
Hey!
Why do you say that?
Can I just say one thing right off the bat is, I'd like to see you crucified.
Oh!
First of all, I'd like to say, your government is so arrogant and so cocky. Your whole country's going down the tube. You're taking the whole world with it. And last year, your government dared to cut off my...
Now, a lot of important things happen to the band on tour for Scumdogs of the Universe.
Why weren't you arrested?
John, you really shouldn't have.
I'm sorry.
Nope.
John.
Strength, like my friend Laurence Olivier would tell me. I used to have, anyway, an object growing between my thighs that we called the cuttlefish of Cthulhu. The police, they came to the show, and they told me that, I was trying to simulate a human penis. What an insult! Take me back to the station house. They said they wanted to do a bunch of confiscated crack with me. And hey, I love to party, so. Went back to the station house. The next thing I knew, I was totally unconscious, and they had amputated the cuttlefish with a laser saw and buried it in a nuclear waste sludge pile.
And the opening song, Ham on the Bone, despite its goofiness and clear influence from grindcore, is all about the stealing of cuttlefish. This gave a huge creative spark to the band, creating what many strongly believe is their finest achievement, an album that is mostly a concept story about their war against the American society, politics, religion, everything. There's once again hilarious moments all over it, like Crack in the Egg, which is not about a crack in an egg, but literally putting crack into an egg. And of course, Hatching, one of the best songs in this album, the definitive thrashy GWAR song, a song about their pet giant dinosaur that even rivals Godzilla, Gorgor. the band is taking pot shots against boomers and the religious institutions and the morality squad, where famously Edna P. Grambo, an older lady, and her nephew Corporal Punishment tried to stop GWAR from their war in America, but GWAR never fails.
You don't actually think the depraved acts of GWAR are funny, do you? Well, do you?
Freedom to all the people, brave, true, and strong. Freedom for all the people, unless I think you're wrong.
But what's funny is all this ended up doing was giving the band even more promotion, making them famous enough to be put on Joan Rivers, who took them seriously and loved them just like we do.
How far are you guys gonna go?
Cleveland.
But if you want to know more about the story of GWAR winning their war against America, they actually made an accompanying film at the time that was turned into all the music videos, Phallus in Wonderland. There's some very creative musical directions on here, like my favorite song, Have You Seen Me, which has slow jazzy parts with Oderus screaming random things into the microphone.
I'm gay and I'm proud! God damn it, I'm horny!
And then comes in with the absolute heaviest thrash breakdown ever. The Road Behind is them doing almost like a grungy, power ballady, dick-sucking sellout song, but it's done so stupid, so corny, and somehow so catchy that it's actually a standout song on here that even Beavis and Butthead got down to in one of their first music video reactions. And Beefcake the Mighty actually does the iconic chorus to the song. Despite Flattus Maximus having a serious heroin problem at the time and not being on this album, having Balsac do all the lead guitar, it is without a doubt their finest moment, both with heaviness, creativity, and just damn good songwriting beginning to end.
You continue to use your Earth as a big toilet. It won't be very long until it's just a glowing husk, a cinder in space, as it were. Useless to your race, very useful to us, though. We will be destroying the planet entirely and escaping to outer space once and for all. You think I'm pretty deluded, don't you?
Let's say I'm a promoter and I can get you a national tour, major arenas, but you've got to clean up your act a bit. You've got to go along with a rating system. Would you do it?
I would sodomize him.
They were offered a deal to sign to Warner Brothers to be one of their biggest bands, offer them movie deals to release them professionally and officially in theaters, do huge budget music videos, give them grand tours, big budgets for their albums, distribution everywhere. But there was one catch. They had to remove a song off the album This Toilet Earth that they were working on called BDF. Whatever you can imagine the letters BDF stands for, it's actually 10 times worse. The band were offered this. They just got to drop that song and they will have everything they've ever wanted.
Blow me, fat boy. GWAR will never sell. No, you think you can throw down some chump change? Bigger than that.
And the band refused everything over this stupid song that was still yanked off the album and left off the track listing when it was distributed in most places anyways. But that just goes to show that sticking to their guns was actually funnier in the long run. That's just the edgy punk attitude of the band, which went to shape this album. This album is actually a lot more like Hello than it even is like America Must Be Destroyed, and experimenting more than any of their other albums too. And there's funk elements to the song Pepperoni, and who could forget the song that got me into the band, one of the band's absolute most kick-ass songs, Saddam A Go-Go, a pro-Saddam song during the Gulf War. But what makes this thrashy song so special is the fact that they added brass instruments.
I heard that one time this kid had like a seizure at a GWAR concert, and that singer dude told everybody not to help him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Urungus would want it that way.
There's punk bangers all over this thing, like Bad Men, Fight, Jack the World, Crackdown, which of course is showing off the band's absolute devotion to crack cocaine, which has been referenced as the main reason why they refuse to leave this planet.
I get drunk, I get violent, I feel the power. This is a crackdown. I don't obey the people.
And the song Slap You Around is hilarious, which is a very much pro-domestic abuse pop-punk song.
For more.
But we also have to talk about what happened to the band at this time and another villain they encountered. One of their weakest ones, Skullhead Face, which of course was the film Skullhead Face that Warner Brothers ended up dropping. And on the song this album, The Insidious Soliloquy of Skullhead Face, it goes through tons of different musical directions, showing the experimentation, but even then still having those iconic GWAR metal riffs. So why did the band have beef with her? Well, first of all, she pretended to be a studio executive at Warner Brothers. And then to make matters worse, she ended up stealing their Jizmak. And as they were trying to escape on the big world maggot, things just fell apart. So what they decided to do? Well, they decided to glass some planets. So we're going to blow up GWAR 5. And they accidentally ended up blowing up the wrong one. But in typical GWAR fashion, they just keep going anyways, because who cares?
The navigator informed us that we had attacked the wrong planet.
Now, yes, there's some metal songs on here, like, of course, Sonic Commando and Issue of Tissue, which I love. But this is honestly the GWAR album I listen to the most for whatever reason. And some people put it down and say this is where the band's slipping. I disagree. This album, and even the next one, are still the golden age of the band.
And just remember, no matter how long GWAR's around, we'll outlive you and we're gonna suck forever. And I would like to take this opportunity to please, Bjork, I know you're upset. Calm down. Meet me on the ice floe. We'll have a cuttlefish orgy. I want to marry you, lady. Farewell, scumbags of Earth.
Love you, babe. Don't get crazy. Bedlam all around. Anarchy, chaos, rule the streets in the Ragnarok party town.
As the comet Ragnarok plunges towards your sniveling little planet, will once and for all be obliterated, and we shall jump on back of the meteor and fly away to outer space.
Let us go make total fools out of
Let us go!
So in Ragnarok, the band is starting to stray even further away from metal and more into punk. And although I don't like it as much as this Toilet Earth, it is actually still very strong. There's a lot of metal songs on here, like Knife in Your Guts, Martyrdom, the heavy as hell Crush, Kill, Destroy with Beefcake on vocals, and who could forget the opening track, the goofy-ass Meat Sandwich. The funny thing is, while they were making that music video, the band almost got arrested for simulating a hit and run. There's a lot of experimentation on this album again, but in a good way. This is probably the most band-involved album with every single member doing vocals here and there. Even the Sexecutioner returns to do like pirate Viking style vocals on the title track. Now, what exactly was Ragnarok? Well, it was a world-ending event where a comet was heading towards Earth. A lot of people were addicted to drugs that gave them AIDS, that turned them into zombies.
My knickers are exploding with poop. I beg you, all humans, please, become gay. Become gay now.
But they weren't noticing the comet of Ragnarok coming to destroy the Earth. But as we all know nowadays, it wasn't actually a comet. It was the robotic Catholic Pope warrior Cardinal Sin. And the song Surf of Sin, which is literally a surf rock song, is all about this attack from their new villain. Rap was getting even bigger at this time, so it only makes sense that they bring out the one guy whose vocals match that style the most. Of course, we're talking about the band's sleazy-ass manager, Sleezy P Martini, on the song Think You Oughta Know This.
Girls love me 'cause I wear the nice clothes. See the poses when I strike the red poses. Pull my pants down and you ask me, can you blow this? I say yes if you want halitosis.
And we've kind of ignored one other important member at this time of the band, because the band actually allowed a female into the ranks, known as Slymenstra Hymen, who is the band's stage fire dancer. And her and Oderus have a brother-sister vocal fight in the song Fire in the Loins.
Can I help it if I am rather thick?
Maybe we can tear you up by chopping off your dick!
Sister and brothers hate one another.
This marks the end of the golden era for the band, because they admittedly ran out of ideas, done every single thing they ever wanted to do and achieve, and they were happy. So what the hell do you do when you run out of gas like this?
I just want to say, you guys, it looks all real cute and fun, but why do you have to portray such a negative influence for the youth, for my kids? I don't, in the world.
Sorry.
You should be.
The strangest thing about Carnival of Chaos, other than the songs being just too experimental and weird, is the fact that this was both considered the dark age of the band, with the fan approval as well as the critical approval and just the quality of music, but this album marked the commercial peak of the band. That's right, the infamous Jerry Springer interview that they went on with the Mentors was actually done while promoting this album, of all things.
I have a 9-year-old daughter.
How did you raise them?
I raised them to the best of my ability, and I
sure
raised
you
them
did.
not to be
and
like
I'm sure that what
Is that
we
why
do
your
is
kid's
not
a
gonna
huge GWAR
affect
fan?
them.
Show
I
all
think you're
of it.
just looking at the negative things you can find to make a big stink about why you didn't raise your son right.
What ultimately hurts this album is that it just feels tired. It tries too hard to be comedic and funny. They're straying too far out of their musical wheelhouse, and the dark humor that made this band so iconic seems to be very much missing, and instead they put in too much slapstick humor like their Monty Python. There's still a lot of good stuff on here, like Back to Iraq, another great pro-Saddam song. There's of course the edgy preschool prostitute and the awesome opening track Penguin Attack. Now, considering that Slymenstra Hymen made such a big impression on Jerry Springer and was becoming a bigger element of the band, it only makes sense that they would give her an entire song to herself, an epic, slow, jazzy nightclub song known as Don't Need a Man. And this is arguably the strongest song on here, even though it's extremely weird and different for them. Her singing, attitude, and atmosphere on the song is very powerful.
I need an equal to capture my own. I've had all time.
I'd say most of it's pretty listenable and okay, but when it's bad, oh boy, it's bad. Like Suckin' My Thumb and Sex Cow are just embarrassing. Honestly, it's just way too damn long. It's almost a double album in length, and there's just so much filler on here that it would have been at least more accepted if they just cut out like a good third of this damn thing.
We do bar mitzvahs, bachelor parties, bowling alleys, dead elks.
Is it true you guys kill everything?
A bit, yes, a bit. We killed almost everything. We might let you live, though.
And you're gonna save the universe tonight, is that true?
We don't understand the plot. It's too confusing. I just get up there and start swinging.
Unfortunately, We Kill Everything is the worst album from the band by far, and it's not even close. They end up completely crashing and burning in popularity critically and even within the band, who hate this album. First of all, the album tries to go for more of a punk direction, so directionally, good idea, but it's still way too experimental, not funny at all, and just bad songwriting all throughout it. Now, the first couple songs are pretty damn strong, and one of my favorite GWAR songs on this album is Nitro Burnin' Funny Bomb.
Stuck with bees, my cock is diseased, laden with puzzled ends, well down my knees. A swarm of narcotics to get me through this. My manager's gonna be pissed. I'm talking about the Nitro Burnin' Funny Bomb.
But there's just too much stupid minutia all throughout the rest of this thing. It's trying to be like a part concept album for the It's Sleazy movie that was made at the time. Something about the band smashing a stupid ancient tablet and they gotta fight some evil. It's getting too much and too corny at this point. Which brings us into the absolute worst GWAR character of all time, Scrotum Moon. A character so stupid that literally everyone in the band hated it at the time. The whole thing is just unfunny, stupid, and boring. And the band Even though mostly I've hated this through the years, Oderus seems to have a very bipolar view of it. Depending on what the day was, he'd say it was okay, it was terrible, it's the worst thing ever made by any creature in this universe. He's gone so far as to say these last two albums don't even count at all. So if you want to just ignore this black mark in the band's discography, you can go right ahead, because otherwise they're pretty damn consistent. Now yes, this was GWAR expanding their musical experimentation as far as they possibly could, showing that they could actually do a lot of different things no matter what, but they realized that if they want to be relevant and not suck, they have to embrace that metal is the way.
Oderus of GWAR, did Disney fake the moon landing? Did they fake the moon landing?
It's a fake. There isn't even a moon. Everyone knows it's made out of cheese.
Oderus, why did you sink Atlantis? Why? Innocent people!
I needed to usher in the era of the railroad.
Is there any way to stop a GWAR show? Is there any way to stop a GWAR show?
Yes, don't go.
I would say the reason the GWAR albums are heavier now is due to packing materials.
After they finally defeated Techno Destructo for good, who many was saying was holding them back for those past couple albums, the directions he was trying to manipulate the band to go into, they come back smashing this new silver age of the band, doing heavy-ass crossover thrash metal once again. Mostly due to the fact that Techno's gone, Oderus was in full control, and grabbed the bull by the horns and took reins of the band. Unfortunately, they lose Slymenstra Hymen. They downsized the production a little bit, introduced a lot of new characters and new props. There's some heavy-ass riffs all over it, like the songs Antichrist and Bile Driver, introducing the new stage prop that fires disgusting putrid mush into the audience.
Bring forth the fun driver! Fun driver! Bring forth the fun driver!
There's other classics on here like Bloody Mary, Lixor, Immortal Corruptor, which was so damn good and has such a groove to it they made a music video out of it. But my favorite song here is a song that feels like it's not even trying with how stupid and goofy it is, but it's still damn catchy, The Apes of Wrath. The album was great. Even Sleezy P Martini felt that this is the band's finest hour musically, and going forward, there would be no bumps in the road. This is one of the most consistent run of 2000 thrash metal albums ever, and that's really strange because they would actually end up leaving Metal Blade after this album and still holding that consistency.
We interrupt this regularly scheduled program to bring you this breaking news report.
Enjoy the whole party! Rushing soccer lands! Your blood stained the desert sand!
What is the stake that GWAR has in the American elections here?
Death to all! We have set up a gladiatorial bloodfest. The only people that will be qualified to run America will have to fight GWAR, which means no one will be qualified to run America except GWAR.
With it being the 2004 election year, post 9/11.
My cock is so big that on 9/11, the terrorists crashed a plane into it.
The Afghanistan War, and of course the Iraq War. It only made sense that GWAR made their own political party, the pro-war war party. And to quote Oderus Urungus, basically GWAR pledges support to the powers who support the war, and we make such a right-wing statement that the right wing would be ashamed to have us. And speaking of the right wing, throughout the 2000s, Oderus would appear several times on Fox News' Red Eye as their interplanetary correspondent, because Greg Gutfeld, who ran Red Eye, was a huge fan of the band, and eventually he'd get kicked off for the things he'd say about Sarah Palin.
My social program to give sex to elderly people who are wheelbound or wheelchair-bound, stuck in their houses. I mean, these people still have sexual desires. That's why I've started the Oderus Urungus Feels on Wheels program.
Very nice. Oh. You truly are a saint.
Yes,
wow.
Work release inmates will go to houses, feel up your grandma, go through her stuff.
And their pro-war message could not be more clear with songs like You Can't Kill Tear and the heavy, classic Bring Back the Bomb.
Me and the Good Old Boy Network got something ready for you.
Bring back the bomb, it's been far too long. Summon the brazen war chariot. Bring back the bomb, what makes it so wrong?
My favorite song here is the catchy, heavy Womb with a View with some funny lyrics like your womb is manure, your womb is a sewer.
Your womb is a sewer. Your womb is manure. But still, I'm
They'd introduced the goofy action figure looking stage character Bone Snapper. And even though the War Party didn't win the election, it ended up selling more than the last album. And honestly, I think it is slightly better. And you could argue that every album after this ends up building to a peak.
Hey, what is that? Holy... What? Hey!
What are you doing here? It's scary upstairs.
Aren't your friends up there with you?
They're not my friends. They're not my friends. We're going to hell. Here we sink through the creation. Blood-stained wine. It's within our time. Here we seek the final salvation. Produced by Devin Townsend, Metal Guru. Beyond Hell is
Canadian.
our heaviest slab yet. We're playing the entire new album tonight.
Is there anybody that we should know about that might be possibly getting killed on stage tonight that you can reveal?
Let's see. Jesus, Hitler, Satan, the Pope, the President. Yeah, the usual assholes.
Now, for some bizarre reason, the band had Devin Townsend, of all people, produce it. Which I don't know why you would ever need an actual producer or professional studio to record GWAR. You literally just mic up a toilet, and that's a GWAR album. Now, during the making of this album, the band was very inspired because, once again, a big thing happened to them. Of course, the Nazi Pope attacked the band with his big armies. They didn't know what to do. So they went down to hell, and this album sort of serves as a GWAR Dante's Inferno story. They proved that they were scarier and ballsier than Satan, came across Gitler and Jucifer. And there's other themes on here about the fact that Sleezy P Martini over the years just keeps his band hopelessly addicted to crack. And several songs on here about destroying yourself through drug abuse, which, as many of us insiders know, is kind of eye-opening and sad to think about in retrospect. Now, one thing we haven't talked about is the fan base of this band. A lot of them are maggots, but unfortunately a lot of them are what are called bohabs. And a song in here is talking about the ultimate bohab that they've ever come across. The dick-sucking, loser, fat, pathetic fanboys that have no personality of their own. The name for these people actually came from Father Bohab, who led the media campaign against the band during America Must Be Destroyed.
Your face makes her sick. As soon as she's in there, she's getting the dick. But not from you, from the entire band. So whip out your cock and lay a wad in your hand.
The band is also going for societal topics, like covering the Alice Cooper classic Schools Out and just making it a complete disaster. With a lot of police brutality going on at the time, of course, GWAR takes the pro-police brutality stance in the song I Love the Pigs.
I love the pigs, I love the pigs, love the pigs. We killed and killed again. I got away with it.
Although that's not my favorite of these 2000s GWAR albums, it is definitely the most comedic and funny of them all.
Been trying to get off this planet for many years, but we were appalled when we finally did get back to outer space to find out that there is no crack cocaine in outer space. I'm trying to help the humans out. By doing all the crack in the world, I make it easier for your children to learn how to read.
So as if things could get any worse from the band coming out of the bowels of hell, they tried to steal a Scumdog ship. Cardinal Sin, of all people, came back and attacked them. So they needed the help of their ancient Scumdog mentor, Zog himself, a song they dedicate on this album to him, Where is Zog, where they're desperately searching for him. However, Zog is completely useless, weak, old, pathetic, and dementia-ridden. So they had to figure things out on their own, defeat Cardinal Sin, got a Scumdog ship, and finally left Earth. Other than the amazing album cover that pays tribute to Kiss's Love Gun, this album is a classic for the band, and to me, one of their strongest albums, one of the few that is ever just as good, or if not better, than the golden age of the band. One of the band's most iconic songs is on here, Let Us Slay, with the crippled Christ, a song that has an iconic music video with it to boot, and ultimately ends up being the new Sick of You.
We've got no time for your
I mean, I could go on and on about every song here, how much I love them, like Metal Land, Uberclaw, which is crushingly heavy. But my favorite song is Make a Child Cry.
Make a child cry, cry child cry, make a child die, die child die, take control, seize the soul.
What makes this album so strong is it really is a blend of everything that makes them so strong, with great sound, great performances, everyone on their A game. Now there's a song on here called Release the Flies that actually has Flattus on vocals, mostly written by him, with guitars down tuned to the pits of hell, which would actually be a taste of what was to come.
We're like, how can we make this album heavier? We actually microwave Ben & Jerry's ice cream and drink it. We gained a lot of weight that way, but then we found out if we tuned down to F sharp, it sounded a lot heavier.
So things were brought down back to Earth quite literally when the band found there was no crack in space. So the band quickly returned to Earth desperately on a crack out, ended up recording an album very quickly after the last one. And yes, it's a little rushed, and yes, they ended up having to use a lot of material that was supposed to be a Flattus solo project that he was working on in space. But I think overall it ends up being really strong and kind of different from the band, almost having death metal riffs all over with how damn heavy and down-tuned they are. And with this being GWAR's heaviest album, it's their most disgusting as well. And the multi-part opening epic song details the band invading Earth once again with an army of zombies.
Zombify the human race in this bloody pit of horror and recreate them as my elite super shock zombie army, which we will invade outer space with. That's the plan anyway. It's working out pretty good. We're zombifying about 68% of the people that come to our shows. We need at least 300,000 zombies though if we're ever going to defeat Flopware 7. Storm! Storm is coming! Storm is coming!
And even though the opening epic is the best moment on here, there's still a lot of amazing short songs in here that go under the radar, like My Meat, which is doomy as hell. There's a funny song here that almost seems like a riff of the classic Billy Joel song, We Didn't Start the Fire, but instead the band is naming every single person they've ever killed on stage in Litany of the Slain.
We eviscerated Paris Hilton, the Pope, we castrated Michael Jackson. That wasn't too difficult. Let's see, had sex with a dead dog, and finally, played music.
Had to hang a guy named Sabo, saw him crushed by weight so heavy. Found the head of Chandra Levy, hooked up all, got bit by Gorgo. Bashed and flashed a Reagan Nagar. Lacey Peterson was found, Dick Cheney got unwound.
I used to not care for this one, but honestly, I see Bloody Pit of Horror as the most underrated album they've ever done. It's still just as consistent as all the other albums in this era. I think the fact that it is so down-tuned and disgusting, a lot of people just kind of ignore it, but for a rushed album, it's strong. And things were going pretty swimmingly for the band. Unfortunately, Flattus, of all people, got called back to the stars.
Oderus, tell us, what was it like recording Battle Maximus, the first album since Flattus Maximus' passing?
With Flattus gone, it was an opportunity for me to hog more of the credit. So, we blew the horn of hate, summoned the Maximus clan, and they fought the mighty Battle Maximus. And at the end of it, Pustulus emerged victorious.
So Flattus Maximus was replaced by his cousin Pustulus Maximus.
He's just a dick.
And all the Maximus clan did the Battle Maximus, fighting for dominion to see who would be the new guitar player of GWAR. And this guitar battle is shown in the title track instrumental of Battle Maximus. One thing I do want to say is a lot of people, including Oderus, would credit Flattus for the reason that the band went heavy and metal once again in the 2000s, but he was absent all throughout. Violence Has Arrived. Even though the weird Eye Bone Snapper song here has some bad vocals on it, the rest of this thing is damn strong. Like They Swallowed the Sun, and the song Falling is super different, unique, and really good for them. But the best song here is by far the opening track, slamming classic that's honestly one of the greatest GWAR songs ever written, Madness at the Core of Time. They added on an additional track of the cover of the Kansas song Carry On My Wayward Son, and just like their cover of School's Out, it is complete nonsense and somehow still works for them. Battle Maximus has aged like a fine wine, especially the remaster, which adds more awesome tracks to it, a way better album cover, and a much better, punchier, more metal mix to it, making Battle Maximus the strongest album after America Must Be Destroyed and This Toilet Earth. In fact, one of these bonus track songs in the remaster, Taming the Swine Queen, was the last song that Oderus Urungus would ever record with the band, and it is a banger. This album is a complete tribute to Flattus and an unfortunate goodbye, an abrupt goodbye to Oderus Urungus. He pretty much returned to Scumdogia being a useless drug addict. And as much as I love this band, it is never the same without them because he was the goated member, by far the funniest, most important, and leader of the band, primary songwriter, everything you can name. So it was a daunting task to continue without such an important, integral member.
It's been an incredible ride, and it was all made possible by me.
That's right, me. I did it all.
But they tried to continue anyways, with Blothar, who looks and sounds a lot like Beefcake the Mighty used to in the 90s, and with a mix of death growls and what can only be described as Bon Scott-style hard rock vocals, the band continued onwards.
You know, we've been cutting off heads for thousands and thousands of years, but now it just looks like, you know, humans are doing a lot worse than we are.
When, you know, the Catholic Church normalizes things like sex with children, it's like, well, how are we going to remain relevant if, you know, if mainstream religion is doing all these cool things?
I'll bring you pleasure, I'll bring you pain, I'll bring you truth like a bullet to your brain, and set your lies, before you kiss, your bitch is dead.
The Bohabs were pleasantly surprised by this album, to say the least. Not only is it high quality musically, funny throughout it, it also manages to change things up and have a ton of different interesting musical directions on it. Hell, even the opening track is different for them, being a lengthy, epic, battery sounding song. And on the song El Presidente, they're able to recapture the energy and creativity that they had on Sadama Go-Go. This time around, the horns add almost like a Mexican music element to the band. The entire song is mocking President Donald Trump, especially with the opening line of the song, which is just daring the FBI to arrest them.
I wanna kill the president and I don't need a gun.
I used to think this song was kind of tired and not that funny, but now I totally get it. This thing is just meant to rage bait, and that's what this band was always good at. And although they've lost a step with doing that without Oderus, it's still damn funny to this day watching people crash out at them killing them on stage.
It wasn't controversial. The fans didn't take exception until we started killing Trump. And at this point, we're trying to get him to join GWAR because he seems like GWAR. You know, he's unkillable.
Theatrical.
Yeah, theatrical. He sucks my dick every night, by the way.
And speaking of villainous people, Techno Destructo, the band's new villain, is introduced in this album. He has a soliloquy dedicated to him. But there's another character on here that everyone once again hates, and he sucks dick. The song Dickie Duncan. Just get that character out of here. Never bring him back. No one likes him. There's also a song here that's almost like a sappy tribute to Oderus called Phantom Limb. And although it's a good song, I doubt Oderus would have ever wanted them to do a song tributing him. But the best song on here is the crushing, heavy song that Pustulus writes and does vocals on, Crushed by the Cross.
You will be crushed by the cross. Your life is crushed by the cross.
Another interesting thing is there's a lot of 70s hard rock AC/DC elements on here. The song I'll Be Your Monster and the literal Bon Scott vocals on their cover of If You Want Blood. And just like their other covers in all of their albums in this era, it's another classic. That's right, this one fits in just as well as the last several albums. But can they keep this momentum?
Well, yeah, humans are taking our job.
I mean, we're supposed to kill people. We're supposed to cause floods.
We've been doing it for years. These humans, they suck at it. They don't know how to do war. It's like, look at the history. World War I, that sucked. Sucked so bad they had to have World War II. Now they're talking about a World War III. Come on!
Now, there was some E-drama going into this album. Yes, after the last album, they had tried to have a female character in the band once again. A backup singer slash dancer by the name Volvatron, who proceeded to have a Facebook crash out E-argument with Pustulus Maximus. Allegedly, she was an alcoholic that kept injuring herself and was an embarrassment to the band, which I could see both sides to this, except for the fact that this is literally the most disgusting, embarrassing band on purpose. Should have given her a raise. But with New Dark Ages, I gotta just say right off the bat, not as good as the last several albums. In fact, it's a pretty significant step down. Now, it's not bad or anything, but there's a reason why this was almost completely ignored on release. A slight majority of the songs in here are great, and the rest are like unlistenably terrible with god-awful riffs and embarrassing vocals and lyrics. But there's still some really damn good songs in here, like Ratcatcher, which is unbelievably edgy with songs about tying up kids in their basement, and kind of has musical elements that sound like hair metal.
The children in my basement, just trying to get out. I got policemen searching my neighborhood. I hope they don't find out.
And there's a decent song here called The Cutter, and for some reason they put that useless human Lizzie Hale on it. Now, they try some different things on here that actually work extremely well. There's an ending suite on this album that has progressive, trippy, stoner rock elements on here with tons of atmosphere. We're, of course, talking about the Death Whistle suite, but the best song here is definitely the song about their vocalist, Blothar the Berserker, the heavy, crushing berserker mode. The album is pretty decent overall, but just feels like it's trying too damn hard. Unfortunately, not only the band, but the entire metal scene throughout this time period that I'm making this seems to be losing a ton of momentum to the point that GWAR is just doing self-released little projects as opposed to doing big things like they used to. Like, of course, the recent return of GWAR Comic and EP, which has a couple awesome songs on it, despite a couple terrible ones. But the song Lot Lizard is funny as hell, and Tyrant King is amazing, better than anything off the last album.
He is the fury from depths below. Whips your rivals through your asshole, still inside your throat.
And lastly, they recently put out a comprehensive documentary, which I highly disagree with. They keep showing these other humans. They keep saying that they represent the GWAR characters. But as we all know, we're not idiots, okay? I'm a GWAR truther. We all know that the GWAR members are aliens, and they're trying to confuse us. The government is trying to throw everything out, release the GWAR files. But at the end of the day, I think no matter what, even though there's a slight dip in quality and momentum for the band, GWAR should continue on forever. People should be having their t-shirts run and getting offended at their favorite president being killed on stage every single year till the end of time.
Let me tell you something. Santa Claus, dead. Tooth Fairy, dead. Easter Bunny, not dead yet. Anyway, GWAR is your new mythos.
Bounce, 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 bounce. It's like murder, she wrote when I get you out the clothes.
All right, I'm done with this shit.
Beep, beep. Running our hands through my fro.
Those big titties of yours.
Let me give you that boop, boop. And yeah, beep, beep.
Subscribe to the Downfall Network.
No!